If you're an Xbox player or generally pay attention to the world of Xbox, you've probably noticed that Game Pass has been all over the place. On the Xbox dashboard, in Windows, on mobile, in ads, on socials, it's everywhere. In fact, it wouldn't be wrong to say that Xbox Game Pass is really the main platform for Xbox this generation. The Series X and S are just ways to deliver that subscription to people. Now we're going on year 7 of Xbox Game Pass. 7 years of new games, new tiers, and new features that have changed the service and grown it to become a core part of what Xbox is delivering for its players. And after all that time, it's become a game subscription that has something for everybody, but it's still not a service that everyone needs. So, is Xbox Game Pass still worth it? Let's start by breaking down the different options. Core, Game Pass for console, Game Pass for PC, and Game Pass Ultimate. These all do the job of giving you access to a collection of games, but each of these subscriptions is a little bit different from the other. Game Pass Core is the replacement for Xbox Live Gold. You get access to a less frequently updated small catalog of games and access to online multiplayer. If you're doing anything online on an Xbox, this is the bare bones way to play, and you get access to some games tossed in for good measure. Game Pass for console and Game Pass for PC give you access to the library of Game Pass games on each respective platform, but it does not include the online multiplayer. Now let's be real, Microsoft should absolutely throw in access to online multiplayer for free across the board for every Game Pass tier, but some people just want access to the games, some people just want access to the multiplayer, so these options are built for those individual groups respectively. And it was also the opportunity to finally ditch that Xbox Live Gold brand from the 360 era. When it comes to Game Pass for PC, it's kind of a mixed bag. Typically, Steam is the preferred launcher of choice for most people, so launching games on the Xbox app and not having Steam achievements might already be a deal breaker. But on top of that, the version of a game on Game Pass for PC sometimes is behind on updates compared to the Steam version due to certifications with Microsoft. Looking at you, Pal World. I'm someone who has an Xbox console and a gaming PC and play on both on a regular basis, and I can't say that I've personally experienced many issues with any games that I've played on Game Pass for PC. But I typically stick to the console, so I can't confirm what the experience is like as a PC subscriber who uses PC as their main platform and has spent thousands of hours playing games on there. But from the experiences that I've had, plus the beauty of Xbox Cloud saves going from consoles to PCs, it seemed fine for me. And I'm a sucker for Xbox achievements in the same way that some people are suckers for Steam achievements, so having those baked in on PC is actually a win for me. And finally, we have Game Pass Ultimate. This is what I would consider to be the Game Pass experience. It gives you access to the Game Pass libraries on console and PC, online multiplayer, access to EA Play, an entirely separate subscription, Xbox Cloud Gaming, and a collection of rotating perks like in-game items, DLCs, and trials for other services. It just keeps coming. For some games on PC like Valorant and League of Legends, Xbox has nice perks thrown in through an agreement with Riot Games to give players access to all characters and operators in those games. That's a pretty good value. But at $16.99 per month, it's also the most expensive option out of the entire lineup, but you do get plenty of bang for your buck considering you have everything Xbox has to offer, along with access to another $5 a month subscription with EA Play. On the topic of Xbox Cloud Gaming, it's currently more of a nice perk than a must-have experience. I'll play Cloud Gaming's a couple of hours each month when I'm on the go through an iPhone with a Backbone 1 controller, but the real value for me has been being able to boot up a game on the cloud when I'm browsing the Game Pass catalog on my console to give it a go before committing to the full download. I mean, when a standard game is over 100 gigs to download, you kind of want to know you're going to enjoy it before you commit to that download. But if you do play on the go, the entire Xbox Cloud Gaming experience now supports touch control. So if you are someone who travels a lot or just enjoys playing games in that smaller mobile form factor, then this could be a great perk for you. But as with any cloud gaming, the quality of your experience ultimately depends on your internet connection. If you don't have the best internet or a reliable 5G network, then cloud gaming may not be a big benefit for you. Now, anybody can talk about subscriptions and ways to play all day, but when it comes to a gaming subscription, it comes down to the games. Xbox Game Pass drops new games in 2 batches every single month with surprise drops along the way, ranging from huge day one Xbox and third-party releases to the smallest indie games that you might have never heard of. Now, some months are better than others, but the service still brings a consistent flow of new content into the lineup, and Game Pass Ultimate subscribers can really reap those benefits with EA Play, where new games are added roughly 6 months after they launch, like in October 2023 when Dead Space Remake was added in. That was a big one. Microsoft is constantly cutting deals with major third-party companies to keep significant games coming into Game Pass and to keep players coming back, like deals with Capcom for Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3, or MLB with MLB The Show 24. one of the biggest PlayStation games of the year. Now let's be real, you're not getting every major third-party game added to Game Pass on day one or added at all, but there is a solid collection of recognizable names scattered in alongside first-party Xbox content, most recently including Diablo 4, which is another big addition for Game Pass, and they're always ready to rock. Speaking of Xbox games, all Xbox first-party games are added to Game Pass on day one, except for Game Pass Core, that does not include day one drops. Obviously, your mileage might vary depending on what you think about Xbox's first-party catalog. A game like Redfall might not add a lot of value, but it's still a significant amount of money saved when you compare it to spending $70 a piece on games like Forza Motorsport or Starfield on day one. There's a lot of potential for this perk to get even better in the future now that Xbox owns so many studios. With Activision Blizzard now being owned by Microsoft, Call of Duty is probably going to be added to Game Pass on day one as soon as any contracts that ABK had to not do that have expired. And Bethesda games like Elder Scrolls or Fallout are going to be added on day one going forward. Obviously, plans could change, but that's an impressive perk to have in this lineup. But let's stick with what's included with Game Pass today. Is it still worth it? The answer ultimately comes down to what kind of player you are. If you're someone who's set in your ways, you only play a specific genre of game, you only play specific games with your friends like Fortnite or NBA 2K, you spend most of your gaming life playing one game in particular like an MMO, then Xbox Game Pass probably is not going to bring that same level of value for you, and it probably won't be worth it. Xbox Game Pass is a great fit for players who like exploring new games and seeing where this library ends up taking them. I mean, it literally has a randomizer button to just pick a game and start playing it. The day one releases for games like A Plague Tale Requiem, Halo Infinite, Starfield, Lies of P, these are all great to have in the service, but I've found so many good games by just opening the Game Pass tab and seeing where it takes me. Evil West is the most recent game I checked out on a whim. It's a 2022 third-person action game where you kill vampires. I knew it came out, I knew people liked it, but it wasn't one that was at the top of my list to pick up and play. But since it was added to Game Pass, I went ahead, gave it a shot, and had an absolute blast with it. That's the value of Xbox Game Pass. It's a one-stop shop subscription for a huge selection of games from every genre. Now, not every game is going to be something you're interested in, but you'll never find yourself running out of new games to play if you go in with an open mind to try new stuff. So to wrap things up, if you play on an Xbox console and you just need access to online multiplayer, then Game Pass Core is really the only subscription you really need. It gives you that online functionality and you get a nice little selection of games to pick up and play. But if you don't want multiplayer on Xbox consoles or you play on PC, then Game Pass for console and Game Pass for PC are respectable choices that get you access to hundreds of games. But if you play on consoles and on PCs, want that online multiplayer, dabble in cloud gaming, and you just enjoy a ton of variety in your gaming routine, then Ultimate is the right pick for you. Personally, I subscribed to Game Pass Ultimate in mid-2019, and it's one of those subscriptions I never plan to get rid of. Not only have I played more games because of Game Pass, it's helped me discover more games that I enjoy. I went from just playing FPS and action games to exploring pretty much every genre that's out there and finding new games that I would consider to be Game of the Year contenders. It's that good. I love that variety, and testing new games is a huge part of the way that I experience games. And if you don't do that, that's totally okay, but you probably don't need to get the highest tier of Game Pass. But if you are somebody that likes discovering new games, then Game Pass is definitely going to be something that's worth your time. And for that reason, I always recommend it as the best value in gaming. I call it as I see it. But that's just my 2 cents. I would love to know what you think down below. What do you think about Game Pass? Do you subscribe? And if you've never checked it out, do you plan on giving it a shot in the future? And of course, if you're new to the channel, you enjoy what you see or what you hear, hit that subscribe button for videos like this every week and gaming news shorts throughout the week to keep you in the loop. And I'll catch you on the next one.